of entertainment, current events, and Hollywood. Don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha Bean, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today we have a special guest.
My name is Mellow.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on the show. I always like going back to the beginning. I always say the beginning kind of charts our trajectory. Like our little habits that we pick up follow us as we become adults. So tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was that like? And kind of how did you find your way into music?
My childhood was just me beating on everything. Anything I could find to beat on. I just had a habit of just beating on everything, and used to drive my family crazy. Stop beating, man, stop beating. And I found this guy. He was playing the drums one day, and I heard the drums in the distance, so I just followed my ear to the drums, and then I knocked on the door, and I happened to know the guy. And so I was like, I didn't know you played drums. So I was in there watching him play the drums, and I was just fascinated. And so I started going over there every day and started playing, and I got really good on drums. And from that point, I started playing in bands and got with his uncle, as a matter of fact. That's where I learned a lot. These older guys, because I was just like 13. And so I was start touring with his uncle's band. And I just soaked up so much stuff, and then I was able to form bands with kids my age and my brothers, and we started doing gigs all over, and that's how I kind of got started into it.
I love that. I I think that's awesome that you kind of knew exactly what you kind of wanted. You know how some people have to go through they get the 9 to 5 and then they just kind of like finally it comes later like, oh, I want to do this with my life versus
Yep.
like what everyone should do. Because taking the music route or entertainment route, I think is super, what do you call it? It's just like you never know. It's up in the air. It's one of those things like,
Yeah.
yeah, you believe in your dream, but like who actually gets to that level of like a Jay-Z or Beyonce or,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
tough road, but I
It
think
is.
I love it,
It
right?
is. You have to love it. Me personally, I don't really care about a lot of the things as far as the music industry, money, and all that stuff. I I end up getting hooked on the music. So how people get hooked on drugs and things, I got hooked on music. So
Right.
it became like another limb on me, just music. So I use it for relaxing therapy. With everything going on in the world, I can escape. And it's some people escape by putting their headphones on and meditating, listening to really good music.
Yeah.
Um, I created. I just like creating it, and then I started getting a lot of equipment. So then I started recording a lot, and every time I learned more and got better, I was interested in more engineering, all the other aspects of it, and then it got to a point where it's just I needed to release. It's a release for me,
I love
writing
that.
songs.
I think music is a release and it's actually a place that, and I think it's amazing that you make music that people can like listen to and kind of, escape their problems from their mundane life. Because the world is hurting and we need good feeling music, to
Absolutely.
uplift us in such a, just I think music is just a universal
Oh
healer,
yeah.
honestly.
Hmm. Yeah, but people, it sets the tone for everything almost. And somebody they want to work out, and they need that that up music, so they can put on that type of music. If they want to relax, they can put on some relaxing music. They want to chill with they significant other, they can put on that type of music. It's, you know, it's just it's a mood setter.
It is a mood setter. I'd like to get a little bit into your single. So, first of all, it's very fun. It sounds amazing. One way ticket. Tell me a little bit about the process of making that, and what all that involved, like what went into that.
Yeah, one way
Why did you
ticket.
pick it?
Thank you. One way ticket. Yeah, that one. I was messing around with the idea of committing a way of taking that relationship to the next level with that commitment. And how can I say that? And then I started thinking, okay, one way ticket. If you get a one way ticket, then we're going to be together. If you get a round trip, it's cool. You know, if you're not down, get a round trip ticket and we could have fun. But I'm looking for something more, so that's cool. But I hope we get the one way ticket, and
Right.
that's what that's about. And so the music, I wanted something like really smooth and mellow, but I wanted it to be fun at the same time. And it's like what I tell her, and part of the whole commitment thing, not just, I know everybody having hot fun summers and stuff, but at some point they're going to get to that point where that song is going to touch a nerve. So that's what I was going for with that one way ticket. I say, I tell her, I promise, if I think the grass is greener, I won't give it away. I tell her, if your cup runs over, will you want it again? If I want to know, is this going to fulfill you? Am I going to be enough for you? So, and if so, take this ring with my name on it, always and forever.
I love that. I think that's a beautiful thing. How do you know? And I'm curious, and this is going to sound like, not to get so deep and personal, but how do you know when you're ready to go to the next level in a relationship, as yourself? Like, is it like a feeling that you get? Is it like,
Um,
all right,
you,
I'm ready?
well, when you're ready, and it's usually, and it depends on what is your purpose, what is your intent when you are on the dating market, whatever. Are you with the intentions on getting married one day, or are you still out there just having a ball? So that has to be determined before anything. So if a person's looking for a serious relationship, I think that they shouldn't waste too much time with people that aren't serious, because you know how relationships go. You could just have this bond and attachment with this person, but this person's not ready, and that's the first thing I say in the song. I need to know if you're ready. So, and then 5 years go by fast.
Oh yeah.
How many people Oh, I've been in a relationship 3 years, 5 years,
Yeah.
and next thing you know, 10 years went by,
Yeah.
and with men and women, we have different clocks. So with the women, they have to be mindful of that clock a lot more than the men. The men,
Right.
yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah, because Robert De Niro just had a kid at like 80 something. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, the family
Um,
tree continues. Yeah,
right. Like, I really love the sound and tone of it. I also read that you have a background in engineering, like you do it all. You do a lot of
yeah.
things. How did you, was that just a natural progression when you got into music, like creating your own beats and going into there and just really, honing in on your own, like the craft yourself?
Yeah, starting out, because I just did a lot of live um, playing, performing, and touring, and so that was my thing. I play multiple instruments. In the bands, I was always the go-to guy. I feel the spots on the song. If it needs a guitar, if it needs a keyboard, if it needs whatever, needs a lead singer background, bass, whatever it is, that song, depending on how that band makeup is, wherever I'm needed. So that was me, and playing all types of music and multiple types of bands, rock and roll, country, R&B, um, just gave me a wide knowledge, and so it widened my spectrum. So when I started recording music, I was able to work with a lot more different artists. Once I started producing music, I found
Nice.
myself able to work on this techno project, and this reggaeton project, or this hip hop project, or R&B, jazz. So I'm able to do all those different things by how I came up playing all this different music. But when I got into recording, the first the first artist that I co-produced with the guy, he brought me on, and she got a record deal off the first. That was my first time,
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, wow, this is. I think I like this, and he showed me all the. That was when more computers was getting more involved in sampling and things like that, and I started learning more how to record those type of ways. And then over the years, I opened up Cram Pro Studios in 2003,
Nice.
and I had one of the best engineers in the business working for me, Fat J, and I just looked over his head most of the time, watching. I'm like, how'd you do that? He'd do it so fast. I'm like, man, come on, you don't want me to know how you did that? But so I just had to watch and learn, and I got better at the engineering part, and so now I'm well rounded. I can produce from the live musicians to the sampling to the programming to whatever is needed.
I love that. I think that's something that I've noticed too in this industry, like whether like whatever background, whether it's music, producing, film, I think it's kind of the definitely the progression of the industry, like where we're going is like I think a lot of times, a lot of people say, well, yeah, wait by the phone, but nowadays you can do it yourself with, AI and all the things you have available already for you. You can essentially create your own empire and do it
So,
yourself, really.
yeah,
And I think
yeah,
that's the best way to go because then you're creating more opportunities that can open up doors just by other skill sets that you have. So 100%, I love that.
it's
Um,
definitely independent industry now.
right? It's amazing what you can do. And honestly, there's no excuse. Like there's people that say, well, I don't know what to do. I'm like, there's YouTube, there's Google is out there. I mean, I feel bad for our ancestors who didn't have this access that we have now. So it's like everything's really
Yeah,
to our fingertips.
yeah. Prince said a long time ago, it's too much. He said it's going to happen too fast, and right, and it's people can now they have all these lawsuits and litigations for this AI and with writers and all that stuff. So it's interesting where it's going.
Yeah. Do you feel like the music industry is changing in favor of the artists, like now that, getting their artistry is getting themselves out there in the world?
I I believe so. I believe so. At the same time, it's tightened up on the top too, so it's like that layer, that wall that you have to get past. And um, why I say why I say that is the, the music industry has changed to where people can put out their own music. It could be crap, it could be great, um, but if they have the money, if they have the money, they could go a long way. If they have really good music, and they have money, so it's not before. It's like you have to have this connection, this connection, this connection. But really, if you have the money, you can make your single go a long way if you have some good music.
Wow. Amazing.
But we're
It's
talking a lot
amazing
of
what
money
money can
though.
do.
We're not talking no chump change though. Yeah.
Right, I bet. Oh my gosh, I bet. Which this it brings me to my fun question. If the three levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose only one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
I would choose. I would just choose the money. I choose the money. I'm
Yeah.
going to get respect because I'm a respectful person anyway. So,
Right.
uh, so give me the money. I'm going to have my respect, and I'm good.
I love that. I love that. So honest. I love it. I think you're right. I mean, if you already have respect, what do you need? It's like
Mhm.
the money's just gonna just, add on to what you already have and who.
Yeah, I don't need the power because
Right.
that that puts you in an arena where people coming after you because people go after the ones that they want to conquer.
Mm,
So
mhm.
if you top dog, you need to be conquered. They always got to bring you back down. They
Yeah.
always got to bring you back down. So like I said, that's why I go with just the money and that's it.
Do you feel like well, obviously we know as far as the music world and entertainment altogether, this year has been a very interesting year with the Kendrick Lamar and the Drake situation. Do you feel like music needs beef, and this beef in particular was like a healthy one? And did it change culture and I mean, because it was a phenomenon. Everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Well, it was good for Kendrick. Uh, I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, it's a double-edged sword with that, with the whole beef thing, and we know it can get out of hand because it's not that person. Those two, it's always someone else that's going to do it. They're not going to do it to each other. It's someone within there or just a big fan of this one that's going to do something. So, uh, yeah, I think it's kind of dangerous, but the kids like it. Well, grown-ups too, because I hear old cats talking about it too. So it's I don't know. To each his own.
Absolutely. I got, it's so funny. Right now I'm in LA, and I was wearing a OVO hat and Drake's hat, and someone was like, "Take it off." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like is it really that serious?" Um,
That's
but
out of control. That's
yeah,
out
it's
of
really
control.
out of control, right? It's like what's happening? Uh
Yeah.
I'm curious as an artist, as a person that's in the music industry, being in the business for such a long time, I'm sure you've seen the music world change many times, change face and just the direction of it. Um, obviously every day is not roses, but how do you maintain your balance and focusness when, obviously some days are more challenging than others. You're not as inspired. What keeps you going in doing what you're doing?
Um, I think it's healthy to build around a team if you can, because that always you're going to inspire each other.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to do everything on your own, like I tend to do a lot too much, and I try um, to engage more. I I get a lot of engagement because of my studio. So, but I think like I have a writing partner that I write with, Jacob G, and we did the L.A. County Line album last year, and Jacob G and we co-wrote that whole thing, and that's our band here in LA. But me and him, we started out just writing for other artists. That's how we started, just writing for all these different other artists, and then but we get together every week and just record, write, and before you know it, we just have a nice sized library of songs, and we're not getting them off fast enough because we're just writing constantly. And we would get in the studio, and we would sometimes we would know we'd have a focus and a objective, and we would work on that. But then a lot of times it was I don't know what we're going to work on until he gets here. And how do you feel? I'm feeling this. Okay, and we just start creating. And when you say the inspiration, that's the part where the team is important, because that day when I'm down, I didn't really even feel like doing anything, and he'll call me up. You want to work? I was chilling, but yeah, let's work. So, and I'll pull him out of that too. Same thing. He's running around doing his thing, and I hit him up. Hey, you want to work tonight? For sure. And so we kind of pull each other in.
I love that. What inspires you to create something, a song, or could it be just anything? Is it to this what's going on in the real world, or just
Yeah.
personal? What kind of gets you like in the mood to like write or make another project?
What gets me in the mood to write is I what I do a lot of times. I'll come to the studio and I'll just turn on the TV, chill. I got a little bar over here. I might make a drink and chill or something, and because I don't really have an idea what I want to do.
Mm,
And then I might be watching a commercial or something, and I might get an idea, or I might just start humming something. Now all of a sudden, oh, and then I have the equipment on already, so I'll just jump right into it. And there's times where I sit here for hours,
wow.
just chilling, and then boom, the inspiration hit me, because I can't just turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't, because I'm too. Because once I start, if I start, put it this way, I can be in the studio for 3 days straight,
Wow.
and I could go probably 2 days without eating and just drinking water, uh, and just recording.
Wow.
And I just, yeah, I before I know it, 2 days gone by, and I don't know how I do it sometimes, but I pay the price for it the next day. I might be down out of commission for a couple of days, but yeah,
It's worth it, right?
yeah, yeah. Because once I get started on something, I can't stop until I get to a certain point.
Yeah.
So if I'm working on a new idea, I don't like any distractions uh, until I get that full concept of the chemistry of what I had in my head. Then once I get it, now I can talk to someone, because I can come back to it now in the structure. I'm not done with it, but at least I can come back, because there are times I'll get a phone call, and then I come back, I'm like, oh, man, I lost it.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I always just work until I get to that point where I have everything that I intended to lay down for that point. Then I can go to sleep. So it might be 3 in the morning when I get to that point, 4 in the morning, and then I won't feel comfortable until I do that. Then I can come back to it a couple of days later, and I can just continue where I left off.
Wow. I think everybody has their process, and that's a very interesting process, like that you're willing to go without food and just kind of wait for it. I think that's super inspiring. Like you just wait until it comes because you know
Hmm.
it's gonna come.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
having
It's
that quiet.
important because I'll have clients, and they'll come, and I'm thinking that we're gonna be mixing, or or sorry about that. It's really well. I'm thinking we're gonna be mixing or recording vocals or something, and then they'll get to the studio and they say, "Hey, let's make a beat. Can you make a?" I'm like, "I don't have that hat on right now.
Right.
You should have told me that earlier, and then that way, it's like when I wake up that morning, I already know later on this evening I'm going to create this track for this guy. So I'm kind of like zoning in mentally in a way that's kind of in the background.
Right.
And so I get to the studio, I'm thinking about sounds, I'm thinking about those type of things, what pads I'm going to use, all those type of things. So I'm ready when it shows up. I'm like, okay, let's do it. But when they just flip the script on me, and I have that engineer hat on, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I could do it, but it's probably not going to come out as good.
Right. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
I totally get, you can't rush art, you know, you really can't. And I think and and it shows a lot of times in music today. Music's just mumble rap. People are really not talking about anything with substance. So it just feels like it's like all over the place.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And the older I get, and I've always did a reset. Every time I get a little older, I always reset and I reflect, and I always keep my mind open to why do people like this, and try to tap into that and keep that relevant while I'm doing what I do. But so I'll have ingredients of some things, but it's not that fad that everyone's doing. Um, it's still my own thing, but I'm mindful. I try to be mindful at least of everything. And when I'm working, especially when I'm working with an artist that's when I'm producing for a particular artist, I definitely have to be mindful and open to everything. And so I I tap into that, doing a project that I'm not crazy about, but I'll make it sound like that's what I love to do all day long.
I love that. Who, if you could have a dream team, someone, a collaboration that you can work with, who would it be? Any artist, in the music industry. It could be an artist, it could be a producer, living or dead. Who would it be and why?
Hmm. Oh man. I think it would be, and I think this guy is an old soul, but he's today, and that's Bruno Mars. I love Bruno Mars.
Wow, I love
He's
that.
so talented to me. Uh, yeah, I would love to work with that cat.
I love
And if
that.
Prince was here, I would say Prince.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if I want to do with the mind game stuff with Prince because Bruno Mars. I think it'd be more fun. Prince. I don't know. Prince. I hear sometimes he end up re-recording stuff
Right. You're
on
like,
his
oh
own. You're
no.
like, hey, well, I don't need your. This is what I did with it. Uh,
That's so funny. Do you feel like everybody kind of searching for things in life, and whether they're doing it through their art or just in general in the journey of life, or they're searching for something. Do you feel like you found your purpose in life?
oh, absolutely. I found my purpose a long time ago, and it's I'm in a place where I'm I'm at peace with a lot of things. I'm in acceptance with a lot of things. I know who I am. That's the most important thing, and and I know where I came from. So
That.
when you know who you are and you know where you came from, it, you're in a whole different place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so nothing in this world, no material thing, nothing, none of it means nothing to me. It's it's nothing. This is so a lot of the nonsense and foolery stuff, I just bypass it. I see a lot of it, and I'm around people, and of course, it's a topic of discussion. Okay, we could discuss it, but I really don't really care, like you, about that.
Yeah.
But we could talk about it, and so that's where I'm at.
I love that.
I'm in a better place.
That's a beautiful place to be, when you know yourself and you're not driven by what society says or society pressures or what the media says you should do, or artistry. You should look like this, you should sound like this, when
Mhm.
you actually know yourself, it like you can just create out of that authenticity
Yeah.
that I find just absolutely beautiful, to a place to be in. So Kudos to you. I love that. I love hearing when someone knows what they want and knows themselves and that, they're moving at the beat of their own drum. So
Mhm.
I'm inspired by that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I like to ask this question for, audience members who, people are listening um to this that want to get in the business. Um, what advice would you give them?
Um, okay, entertainment business, music business, anything like that. I mean, you have to really have tough skin. I guess kind of narcissistic people do great, and because I've seen people that didn't have as much talent, but they had so much confidence and energy that they walked through doors that some other people couldn't walk through. Their drive and ambition pushed them to that level, and so you have to have tough skin and not be afraid of someone saying they don't like your what you bring to the table, because what you're bringing to the table could be just fine, just not for that individual. So people get a no, and then they like, okay, well, maybe I should think about something else. No, uh, Bruno Mars got turned down so many times, and he was just writing for people, and they end up leaving his vocals on that one song, and he did the demo, and that blew up, and then all of a sudden they started looking at him differently. The whole time y'all had a jewel right there that whole time, and you guys just look past him all the time. I'm like, wow, look at this kid. Uh, so yeah, just and be you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent, and you have to be prepared for everything that comes with this dark industry. Uh, and so, I mean, it's a
Don't I know
dark place. Yeah.
it?
And so, and if you don't know who you are, like I said, you get swallowed up. Uh, and so, just be willing to work hard, and be available, and have a good work ethic and strong skin.
Absolutely. I love that. Great advice. Great advice. Also, where can people find you on social media to follow everything you have going on?
You can find me on Instagram, the Mellow Mac, um, Facebook, Cram Pro Music Group. That's KRAM Pro Music Group, and Twitter, the Mellow Mac. Yeah, TikTok, Cram Pro Music Group.
Are you on TikTok doing any dances or
Yeah. No, I do have this dance that I did for one of my songs that's going to be
nice?
on my album next year. It's
Awesome.
it's a it's a kind of stepping type of song.
Cool.
So yeah, I have a actual dance for that, but I haven't released that yet. But no, as a matter of fact, I just posted some really nice dancers dance to one of the LA County line tracks on TikTok today. Yeah,
Awesome.
I wish I could dance. My son's is an amazing dancer. He's off the chain with it though.
Awesome. That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure meeting you and talking to you and hearing about your story, your journey. I just really love hearing just how, people's lives just unfold and doing what you love to do is that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So thank you so much again. It was a
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
definitely.
And hopefully, by next year, a lot more people will know who the Mellow Mac is.
Heck yeah.
Like I said, we're behind the scenes. We did the LA County Line album last year. No one knew who we were at that time because we were just writers. But now, we have a lot of fans with the LA County Line, and but they still don't know who Mellow Mac is really. But so, and I just want to do something for myself with this project because I've just been behind the scenes all these years, and it feels good to do something for myself.
Awesome. I love that. And I have no doubt that, next year is going to be so many more people hear and know who you are because your work speaks for itself. I mean, a fantastic work. And I can't wait to see what else you got coming down the pipe.
Thank you so much.
Definitely. And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.